Hey, John.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, man. Thanks for talking with us today. We're all in lockdown, but hey, we keep going.
Yeah, exactly. I know. It's sort of like instantaneous guilt to say like, oh yeah, I'm doing good because
No,
not, but sort of. I don't know.
right.
But
I mean, we're doing good enough to be able to discuss Capone.
yes, you're right.
Today.
You're right. But you and everybody are well over there, family and everybody.
Oh yeah. Everything's calm. That's kind of how I would say calm. I think right now you're lucky if you're in a calm situation with what's going on. But let's just jump right into it.
Sure.
Capone. It's such a different film from your work, and especially in terms of theme, right? So compared to Chronicle, compared to Fantastic Four, this is a totally different, just creative space and story. So why Al Capone, and why this story in particular? What drew you to it?
I had always known about Al Capone's life from just reading books about him growing up. I wouldn't describe myself as any more of an Al Capone fanatic as anybody else who's just interested in history and interested in reading biographies about historical figures. I've always been fascinated by the mob, but Al Capone to me is just one of many very interesting people that I had read about at some point or another. I knew about, he went to Alcatraz, he was there for a minute, and during his time there, his condition of neurosyphilis had worsened, and to the point where the prison deemed him as no longer a threat, so they released him to just, live in isolation, basically, with his family. So I knew about that, but it was never a story that felt relevant to me. Like, there was at no point did I highlight that in my head. It's like, I'm going to get to that story someday. It had just kind of come to me naturally a few months after the fallout of the release of Fantastic Four.
Right.
And I was left in this sort of what I describe as my own sort of vegetative state, just sitting in my backyard, feeling lifeless and disappointed in myself. I had a lot of anger at myself for just what I felt was just ruining so many opportunities that I had, such as, I was working on a Star Wars movie. I was working on all these huge movies, and, through the success of my first film, Chronicle, it afforded me to, all of my dreams came true. And I was working at the highest levels of the movie industry for a good period of time, for about 4 or 5 years. And then, all of a sudden I'm sitting at, my backyard alone in a chair, chain smoking 2 packs of cigarettes. I'm in terrible physical shape. And there's nobody calling me anymore, no incoming work offers. I was pretty much viewed as unemployable and as toxic as you could get, professionally speaking, So at one point, in my head, I just started to think about Al Capone when he was sitting in his own backyard puffing on a cigar, with nothing really left to do with his life but to just kind of sit there and be haunted by the memories of his own heyday. And I knew that, especially during the last year, 2 years of his life, he'd become increasingly paranoid and unstable, and his wife May would often overhear him screaming names of different guys whose names she wasn't immediately familiar with. And I can only imagine what that led me to believe, like, God, there must have been so many things that he never told her about, because he's a guy who never wrote anything down. Like, he just kept it all in his head. So was having about my own life and where I was at, and sort of feeling like I was being haunted by memories of my heyday and where things went wrong. One of the things that I would always think about is, what would it be like to be Al Capone at that point? You flip on the radio and you overhear, and it's a radio play about Al Capone and the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. And how would he react to hearing that? Like, this is a fictionalized account of something that really happened. And how what would that make him feel? And I think it would make him feel fear at that point, because here he is. He's not Al Capone anymore. He's not in any physical state where he'd be able to defend himself or be scary as Al Capone to fight against all of these enemies that he had made for himself.
And
so that's where it came from.
Wow, because it does feel like a highly personal film.
Yeah.
And I mean, would you say that there's a lot of metaphor or reference in the movie in terms of, it's almost like your battles with the Hollywood, with the quote unquote, with the system, right? Everything that happened with Fantastic Four, with the editing of that movie and stuff. It's
Right.
almost like you could draw a parallel between those guys and the FBI, still keeping an eye on Capone and
the paranoia, paranoia of all of these backroom alliances that are happening, and just knowing that you're in everybody's crosshairs, and for reasons that you don't even really remember or relate to anymore. There's just so much of that was like fertile ground for me to dig into as a way to sort of, like I said, saying, just like resolve the feelings that I was having that, to me, I didn't know how to talk about, because it just felt sort of out of body. And as I was writing it, I just started to realize that this was actually a script that I was writing that was less about Al Capone and not a biopic, but this was more about this is an experiential film about somebody who has dementia, and that the movie itself has dementia along with the main character, and that we would be able to lean on the family members throughout the movie who are in the position of being caretakers, and how little in films about mental health and about Alzheimer's or dementia that we actually can witness how frustrating it is to be in the position of a caretaker.
Yeah, and what's interesting too is it's also impressive your rise back from that whole fallout of Fantastic Four, because you just mentioned what you went through in the aftermath of that release, but this film, I mean, you've got a fantastic cast, and the production values are top notch. I mean, you got David Lynch's cinematographer, you got Tom Hardy, you got this great team working with you. So if you could share a little bit about the process of then coming back and working with these people, and were there any doubts? Was there any pushback when you were starting to put this movie together? Because despite what you just described after Fantastic Four, you were still able to assemble this amazing team for this movie.
Yeah, when I finished the script, I read it back, and it was immediately clear to me that there's no actor who could actually play this role except for actually Tom Hardy. Like, I just couldn't imagine anybody else, embodying that in a role that is really, in so many ways too, about a deconstruction of masculinity. Like, there's somebody to be imposing and intimidating, and then to just unravel into something meek and feeble and vulnerable and raw. His performance in Bronson is one of my all-time favorite performances. So, I just kept thinking about that, and just how powerful he is, but also how powerless he's willing to make himself, So I was lucky enough, I had these two incredible producers I was working with who came on board when I was about halfway through writing the script, and they sent the script over to Tom Hardy's agent, who read it and said he thought that Tom would really dig it, so he passed it along to Tom Hardy, and Tom read it that day and got on the phone with me the day after that, and we were on the phone for upwards of 6 hours, just instantaneously, just like friends. Like, we just connected on every level, and he was just such a sweet guy. And I mean, it was interesting talking to Tom, because there's obviously a lot of myth to Tom's reputation, and I had heard that he was like tough and acerbic and all this stuff, and that's not even remotely the person who I was talking to for an entire day on the phone. He's just a gentleman, just sweet and smart and open-minded and funny and really respectful, and so there was no mention during our conversation of Fantastic Four, and but I was wondering after that, I'm like, does he know about it? And at some point down the line, eventually I did, kind of bring it up to him. He's like, I don't know anything about that. He's like, and I don't care. It's like, who cares, And he hadn't even seen Chronicle. He just loved the script and loved our conversations and the bond that we had right away. So I flew out to London, got together with him, and we spent about a week and a half together. And once he came on board the project in a way that was much more simple than I ever thought it would be, and we got into, I sat down with Peter Deming, and we were rounding out the cast: Linda Cardellini, Kyle MacLachlan, Matt Dillon, Noel Fisher, everybody. Nobody cared. Just nobody cared about the Fantastic Four thing, and it dawned on me from once I got to know everybody more and more that everybody in the business who's been in this business longer than 10 years has had their own Fantastic Four. What made my situation maybe more unique than others is just how publicized it